What's up, Michigan State fans? It's Jacob Kotsnick here back for another episode of the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast. This is the podcast for Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. And Michigan State basketball is preparing for another test. Again, coming off of that nice win. Well, maybe not nice win, put it, but it's a Big Ten road win. Nonetheless, you can certainly do worse than go take a road game in this conference. But still, kind of a sloppy game for Michigan State, no doubt about it. And I'm going to be kind of interested to see how this team looks right now because I think they have to be a bit fatigued at the moment, maybe mentally and physically, because they're only on 2 days rest for today's game against Toledo. Again, tip-off is set for, in case you don't know, 6:30 p.m. And it's going to be on Peacock exclusively. I think I checked. There's three or four other games in the regular season during the Big Ten slate that are Peacock exclusive. If you are thinking about getting some subscription, there's going to be a few more games on Peacock as well for the Spartans this season. But still, I'm going to be getting back on topic. I'm going to be very interested to see how Michigan State just kind of looks overall. Are they going to be sluggish? Are they going to come out? Are they going to come out hot? Because they're mentally fatigued for one. Because uh, they're just coming off of finals week. Like school just ended basically for the winter. They're now on break, so maybe they've been able to get some actually recovery from that. Since they're done with, they don't have to worry about going to class now for a good couple of weeks as we get closer to New Year's. But still, physically, they've got to be a bit fatigued too because they're on 2 days rest in this game, and also they can't lay off the gas pedal. I mean, this is the easiest three-game stretch they're now about to begin on the schedule right now. You got Toledo now, you got Oakland on Saturday, and then they have a long break, and then they play Cornell. And then they go into New Year's, and then you start the whole Big Ten. You only play Big Ten teams until the NCAA tournament. So, yeah, I'm going to be very interested to see how they handle Toledo because Toledo isn't a terrible team that you can just beat with one hand tied behind your back. The record isn't that impressive for Toledo, but the metrics kind of show a team that can cause some problems if Michigan State isn't 100% focused on this game. Toledo's 5-5. Schedule hasn't been very strong either. They haven't played a high major opponent just yet. The best team they've played is Belmont. That was on a neutral court. Belmont's at the time of this recording is 79th in KenPom. Belmont won that game by 15 points. So if that's the strongest team you've played, not all the greatest. They have played one common opponent for Michigan. They played Detroit Mercy as well. That was a home game for Toledo as well. They won that game by 7 points. If you remember that Michigan State Detroit Mercy game, it was kind of a laugher. Detroit Mercy was not very good, but still, but Toledo has generally been a solid MAC team, at least that I can remember. I think usually I often hear about them winning the MAC title and then they don't make the tournament. They usually lose in the conference tournament. Yeah, I'm looking at yeah, they had four-peated as MAC champions with their current head coach, Todd Kowalczyk. He's won MAC Coach of the Year 2 times, and he's won the regular season, at least a share of it, 7 times since he arrived in Toledo. That began in the 2010 and 2011 season. So he's been doing this for a while too, because he's got 301 career wins at Toledo, which is certainly impressive. 437 career wins, which is again, MSU fans are kind of spoiled by Tom Izzo. You hear I think he's nearing 750 wins. He's about to get to 3/4 to the 1,000 mark. I wonder if he'll stay around long enough to try to go for 1,000, but we'll see. But he's an impressive coach for Toledo, but they have not made the tournament under his watch. With again 7 regular season titles, they have not made the tournament. They haven't made the tournament since 1980. To goodness. Okay, but still, this is the regular season. Toledo is usually a decent team in the MAC. Had a bit of a down year in that regard. Again, given that they had been winning so many titles, kind of had a down year last year, 10-8 conference record. But going back to their most recent games against power conference teams, they played 2 power conference teams around this time last year. They were ranked opponents. First one, they got completely shellacked at Houston. Houston was ranked 15 at the time, 78-49. And then their very next game was after Christmas December 29th, 2024. Lost by 19 at Purdue, which really, honestly, good for them. That's actually probably a pretty good performance for a mid-major going into that building. But as for this Toledo team, looking forward, they've certainly got a few interesting players that Michigan State's going to keep an eye on. The number one guy is Sonny Wilson. 16.1 points per game, 3.6 assists per game. He was their second leading scorer last year. He's since elevated into the top scoring role. Again, he can shoot the three ball. He's been at about 36% this year and last year on some not a ton of volume, but still he's a pretty efficient scorer for the most part, and he'll be a guy to keep an eye on. Another one is the Detroit native Leroy Blyden, went to Detroit Jesuit. 14 points per game, a team high 4.9 assists per game, but the defense as well for him is interesting as well because he averages 2 steals per game. You'll probably see him and Jeremy Fears go head to head a little bit. Sonny Wilson's usually going to play the 2. So that'll be an interesting matchup because, again, MSU's trying to figure itself out there. Divine Ugochukwu certainly made a statement in that game against Penn State, but when he moves up, you kind of have to move some things around. Like you're not going to maybe see as much as Curtain, and definitely not as much as Trey Fort now. I think he only played 4 or 5 minutes in that Penn State. What you will see as well is some playing. You have to add Denim Wojcik to the rotation as well, because Denim, you can only there might be times where you just can't play. You have to give Fears and Ugochukwu some rest, and someone has to run the point guard. It would be him in those situations. So we'll see if Ugochukwu can keep it up. I doubt he's going to stick around shooting 5 for 5 from every single game. Certainly, he's given himself the opportunity to try to maybe give him some more reps at that spot to see if he can kind of keep up the good pace and be the shooter that Michigan State has really looked for at that 2 spot, and a guy who can play some good defense as well. That's the main things that Izzo has been asking for. That 3-point. That's why he went and got Trey Fort to add that 3-point shooting into the lineup. He originally went with Curtain at the 2 to start the year. Kerr wasn't making a whole lot of shots. He's still kind of struggling a little bit to make the shots, but so has Trey Fort, and that's why Divine Ugochukwu got that opportunity. But those are the two guys in the backcourt, that you should keep an eye on as well. Sean Craig in the front court. He plays the 4. He'll be a challenge for Jackson Kohler as well. He averages 13.8 points per game, 7.8 rebounds per game. So pretty solid guy. Looking at the box score here, he can stretch it out a little bit as well. He was at IU Indy last season. Shot more threes there than he did last year, but he shot 37% from deep. Over there, he's making a third of his tries so far this year. Scoring is up for him, pretty much about the same level of playing time. So that'll be another guy to keep an eye on in the front court for Toledo. But still, I'm not the upset alert radar isn't really flashing for me. If you see Toledo maybe go on a run early, that's where I'll be like, that's where I think you might be a little bit concerned, because I don't think you want to see this team start out sluggish in this game and try to maybe ease off, thinking things might be easier somehow after playing that Penn State game. I don't think that'll be the case, because I think you had basically the dream scenario for Tom Izzo in that Penn State game, and that they won the game, but no one's happy, and especially not him, because I think this team knows they're too good of a team to probably allow a team like Penn State to hang around for so long, and really was in a position to win that game. I thought it was the time I thought Penn State was going to actually go win. They are obviously the good teams find a way to win. Michigan State did that against Penn State, but if you want to be a great team, you should be rolling over teams like Penn State. And if you're a great team, you should definitely be rolling over MAC teams like Toledo. So I think there's probably been some intense practices behind closed doors on not Sunday. I don't know what the schedule is, either Sunday, Monday, or both. I'm sure there's been some intense practices. I think this team will be focused for this game, and I think you'll see a relatively easy Michigan State victory. I don't think you'll see like a 50-point blowout, but I think you'll see something in the more comfortable side. You're not sweating it in the last 5 minutes of the game. We'll see what happens, though. Once again, though, thank you very much for listening. listening, whether you're on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, or any other streaming platform. Thank you very much for taking your time out of your day to watch me talk. Until next time, though, I'm Jacob Katzanika. I'll see you guys around.